fasting, and late-night prayers. She wasn't one to chase after romantic fantasies, but that all changed the night she had the dream. In it, she stood beside Daniel, her colleague at work. They were married, serving God together, smiling as they led worship in a church she didn't recognize. She woke up with her heart pounding, filled with a peace that could only be described as divine. Daniel was everything one might hope for, sharp-witted, well-spoken, and magnetic in his presence. Though he wasn't outspoken about his faith, Lisa had noticed small things, how he treated people, and complimented her work. Hope bloomed in her heart. Maybe, just maybe, this was the beginning. What Lisa didn't know was that Daniel had heard the rumors too, and decided to play along. "She thinks I'm her God-sent husband," he told a friend with a smirk. "Let her. She's soft, easy to manage." So Daniel fed her the attention she longed for, not because he cared, but because he knew he could. And Lisa, believing it was the fulfillment of her dream, welcomed it with cautious joy. Until one day, it all changed. Daniel stopped replying to her texts. He grew distant. When she finally asked him what was happening, he scoffed. "I never said we were together. You were the one going around saying God told you something." The words cut her soul. She stumbled out of that conversation like someone hit by a truck. At work, whispers turned to laughter. Her faith was mocked. She was labeled as a religious fanatic who chased delusions and embarrassed herself. She locked herself in her apartment that weekend and cried for hours. "God, where did I go wrong?" she whispered through tears. "Wasn't I following you? Why does it feel like you abandoned me?" Her friend Miriam visited that evening. One look at Lisa's red eyes and trembling hands told her all she needed to know. "They're mocking me," Lisa sobbed. "They say I made it all up. Maybe I did. Maybe I just wanted it too much." "Lisa," Miriam said gently, "even if God truly revealed it to you, it doesn't mean it was time to act. A promise spoken too soon can become a burden. The dream may have been from God, but if you move without His timing, even a good thing can become painful." Lisa wiped her face. "I feel like I ruined everything." "No," Miriam said. "God isn't finished with you yet." Meanwhile, Daniel had moved on, to Carmen, the glamorous woman he had been dating behind Lisa's back. Carmen was flashy, seductive, and made Daniel feel powerful. But weeks later, the company Daniel worked for went through a massive layoff. He was one of the first to go. With no income and mounting pressure, he leaned on Carmen. And that's when the truth unraveled. She wasn't who she claimed to be. One morning, Daniel woke up to find his savings gone, $500,000 vanished. Carmen had emptied the account and disappeared. No calls, no goodbye. Later, he received a message. "Thanks for the fun. I'm married, with 2 kids. I was never serious about you. You were just convenient." Daniel's world collapsed. He sat in darkness, jobless, humiliated, and abandoned. The woman who had once prayed for him, Lisa, the one he had mocked, was now a memory he couldn't shake. That night, he dreamed of an angel. The figure stood in blinding light and spoke softly. "You are not too far gone. Return to the throne of grace. My mercy is greater than your sin." He woke up in tears, trembling. He dropped to his knees. "God, I've messed up. I used people. I hurt Lisa. I mocked her faith. Please, forgive me. For the first time in years, Daniel opened a Bible. He started attending a small church, not to impress anyone, but to find peace. He prayed for Lisa's healing daily, unsure if he'd ever see her again. Lisa, on the other hand, was healing too. She had no time for bitterness anymore. She laid her pain before God every morning, reading Isaiah 40 verse 31. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. She forgave Daniel long before he ever asked for it. Her faith grew stronger, not because she got what she wanted, but because she surrendered everything to God, even the dream. I'm not waiting for a man anymore, she told Miriam one day. I'm waiting for God's perfect will. Months passed. Daniel mustered the courage to visit Lisa's church. He waited until the end of the service, heart pounding. When she stepped outside, he walked toward her. Lisa, he whispered. She turned slowly. Daniel. I came to apologize, he said. For everything. For using you. For mocking you. For being blind. I've been paying for it, and I don't expect anything from you. I just needed to tell you I'm sorry. Lisa looked at him, calm and glowing with a new strength. I forgave you already, she said softly. Not for you, for me. Forgiveness is freedom. But that doesn't mean things return to how they were. I understand, Daniel nodded. You waited on God. I didn't. You were right. Lisa smiled. I'm still waiting, she said. But now I wait differently. Not for someone, but for God to finish what He started in me. That night, Lisa stood before a small group of young women and shared her testimony. Sometimes, she began, you see something in the Spirit, and you believe it's from God. But if you move before He tells you to, you'll destroy yourself trying to fulfill something He's not ready to release. I thought I heard from God. Maybe I did. But I didn't wait. God isn't just the giver of the promise, He's the keeper of the timing. As she spoke, peace filled the room. Women cried. Others smiled, silently reflecting on their own journeys. Daniel, now a changed man, never got back together with Lisa. But he began mentoring younger men, telling them about integrity, patience, and how not to treat women. He never forgot the pain he caused Lisa. But he used that memory as fuel to live differently. Lisa continued serving in her church. She didn't rush love anymore. She was content, full of faith, walking in purpose. She smiled more, laughed louder, and prayed deeper. When people asked if she had found someone, she'd reply with a peaceful heart. Not yet. But I'm not worried. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Because now she knew. God's promise is not just about the destination, it's about the process. And this time, she would wait. Moral of the story. Even when God gives you a glimpse of your future, never move ahead of His timing. A good thing outside of His time can lead to heartbreak. But a surrendered heart, one that waits and trusts, will never be disappointed.